Well, we decided to brave the storm, the blizzard. Decided. Hi, Addie. You have a shark? Oh yeah, you got a shark. That's right. We stopped at McDonald's for lunch, so I'll have some heartburn later. Cool. We decided to brave the blizzard. It was pretty nasty getting into Northfield, but when we looked at the weather going back to Ontario, it wasn't that bad. As you got into Erie, a little thick through Buffalo. If you live in Buffalo, it's always thick there. And not too bad. So it was tough to get out of Northfield and the Cleveland area, but after that we were all right. Now, today we'd gone with a bunch of horses. We'll talk about them in a different video, a yearling video today. But I did want to talk about the race horses. We had a decent week. We had some horses let us down a little bit. I was let down by Resolute Bay, but then obviously found out afterwards why. He was quite a bit of mucus in his airway. Combine that with it not really being a trip that he's enthused with. It was just one he had to have, the way the race shook out, especially coming off such a sharp performance. I thought he would overcome, but it just wasn't to be. So hopefully we can rebound and have a good race next week. Next week is a little concerning to me. Next week is a little concerning to me because of the weather. The cold is the cold. Horses wear corks. I wear lots of layers, and away we go. But when the cold melts and the rain comes, that is a whole different kind of nasty. And that's what we're looking at coming next week. Both the Meadows and Northfield Park, I am going to get doused. And I don't know how a horse like Resolute Bay with flip-flops on will get over the track. We're not making any shoeing changes. There's a reason they're on him in particular. So there won't be any shoeing changes made with Resolute Bay for this week. More or less just going to have to go with, geez, I hope he can get through the mud on Thursday. Addie, turn that down a little bit, honey. So I do want to talk about the horses that we have now. All the horses at turn 3 are now considered aged horses, 4-year-olds and up. So we have Brace for Landing. Now Brace for Landing is just jogging. Kathy and Eric have been going with Brace for Landing. Jacob said he put on some weight, which is good. I'm always happy to hear that. No complaints right now. We're really focused, kind of laser focused on getting the babies in a regular routine and schedule. So the 4-year-olds that are training back, they haven't trained yet, are not really on my radar. But I've been very happy with what I've seen from Brace for Landing so far. Carter Michael Dio, really angry at this one. A little bit angry. It's not that he won't do his work, it's that he's being a little stubborn and quite frankly a little bit rude on the track. And as I said in the video yesterday, he makes one break throwing a tantrum, and that's it. He's going to be a gelding. And I know Amy and everybody wanted to geld him all along, and I didn't. I didn't geld Spitfire, which I have no problem with. I didn't geld Carter Michael Dio, who he was a little noisy training back, but by all accounts was plenty fast. And it's not really that he's not fast, not that he won't do his work. He just spent the first part of the race yesterday goofing off, being stupid, and that's not going to happen very much longer. So I nursed him around the first 3/8 of a mile last week, yesterday, and I'm not going to next week. He draws good. He'll be going up on the gate, and if he makes a break or acts up, he will be castrated immediately. So Carter Michael Dio, better mind his P's and Q's moving forward. Collector, it's a tough one. I made a pretty lengthy video the other day, this morning, about Collector and some emails I'd received in regards to the way he was driven. Maybe I didn't mind the way he was driven 2 starts ago, but definitely 3 starts ago and yesterday. Just not put in a great place. And I know that, Chris Christopher knows the ins and the outs of every track. He's an older guy, but he's not an old guy, and has been a top driver forever. Now, it's odd because I find myself sticking up for a super conservative driver when I'm a super aggressive driver. When it comes to a horse like Collector, he needs a conservative driver until we get his legs under him. Having said that, getting away 7th, being 10th at the head of the lane, I know that he had stalled cover, but that's a bad spot to be in, and he can't be in that spot. So I was a little upset after the race too. I thought about just taking him right to the Meadows and saying, it's fine, whatever. I think what we'll do is maybe enter him once more. Now James will be listed on the horse. Chris wants to get the drive back, that's fine. But, and listen, I've been fired more than I've been hired, I think, in this game. it's just part of the way it is, right? I have people that I have to answer to, and so does everybody else in this industry. So when it comes to Collector, you may see him enter next Thursday. James will be listed first on the horse. We'll see what happens after that. He may end up at the Meadows anyway. We can race this horse at the Meadows, Northfield, Dayton, Yonkers, the Meadowlands, Mohawk. There are a seemingly endless supply of paths for him right now. So the least of my worries, although I was a little disappointed last night, is I'm sure Chris was. At the end of the day, lots going on for Collector moving forward. Crantini is going to race Wednesday. Now, we gave him some time off. We could have raced him last Saturday, but I was not tomorrow. But I knew I was not going to be at Northfield Park, and I didn't really want to take a chance of racing him when I wasn't there. So we opted just to go stay at the Meadows and race him in the straight 20 claimer, non-winners at 10. And somebody said, well, that's a lot less than he's worth. Go ahead and claim him. There's not going to be any lineups to claim Crantini, I can assure you of that. So I'm not really worried about the claimer. If he wins that class on Wednesday, that negates him even ever having come to Northfield Park. He only fit that class for one win. So we'll see how he does on Wednesday, and the time off again, dealing with a liver issue that was ailing him, and it was quite high, just gave Tim more time to really work on it. I talked to Dean briefly about Crantini. He said he trained absolutely awesome the other day, so I suspect he'll be fine on Wednesday. Mud or otherwise, I suppose. Irish Ray was in to go tomorrow at Northfield. I said was in the past tense. I was about to leave, and Gloria said, can you come here and look at Irish Ray's nose? A little bit of mucus in both nostrils. Dr. Latessa was there about 20 minutes later and scoped him, and sure enough, he was full of mucus. So I'm going to have to break the news to my father that Irish Ray will not be racing Sunday night. We're going to scratch him. So his first start in the America is going to be postponed for at least 7 days. Spitfire Overseas was awesome the other day. Thoroughly impressed with Spitfire Overseas, the way he raced. I know somebody had said that Brett drove him hard. Well, I think that I would drive the same way. Drove him hard. Yeah, well, he made a break 2 starts before that. The out hole, little flat. 3 starts before that, he made a break. Little flat out of the 6 hole for Jeremy Smith. Then he had the 9 hole for Brett, closing hard on the end of it. When he had a chance to shake that ring rust off, I don't blame him. And because it was such a strong mile, he's 2-1, I think, in the class above that, going for 22 or 23,000 on Monday, I believe. On Monday. So eager to see what he's doing. So I'm so happy he fit in down there with Brett and Stacy, because I really didn't want to start moving horses again. It's hard enough to make those moves, but to have to make a second move or a third move is frustrating. How you doing over there? You doing fine? So Spitfire Overseas, just really impressed with the way he raced the other day, and happy that he's fitting in down in Dayton. Now listen, there's sometimes when I get emails from people saying you need to move this one, you need to move that one. Those are knee-jerk reactions, right? Like the anger towards Chris last night, or when Spitfire was 5th closing on the end of it. You guys have to understand that is that when you get that rush of anger or elation in some cases, that has to be followed up with just a deep breath and a little bit of a reality check. And when it comes to Spitfire, I know there were some people a little concerned that maybe he wasn't fitting in Dayton, but they're not going to race good every week. And when you make a break and then draw the 6 hole and get kind of flat cover, and the horse didn't look great that day, do a little work on him, then he draws the 9 hole, he's closing hard at the end of it. It wasn't surprising to me that he came out 1. The way he did it was impressive. So to everybody, I get it. I know everybody, listen, I'm passionate too. This phone that I'm recording on, I could have been charged with attempted murder a couple of times on that phone. But just sometimes you all got to just take a deep breath and take a step back and look at things. So very, very happy with Spitfire Overseas. Stay special. I love this filly. I said it to Amy when we had her. I know when we bought the filly, Amy wasn't certain she'd be good, but I don't blame her. She was lame. When we first, you were a little skeptical of Stay Special when we first got it, but she was lame. That's why. Don't give me that face.
I am giving you that face.
You are not giving me that face.
I had nothing to do with buying that horse. You bought her in Kentucky.
You weren't that sure. No, I did not buy her in Kentucky. I bought her out of New York, out of New Jersey. So, Stay Special.
Further proves my point that I didn't 0.
No, but you didn't think it was maybe a good purchase. But we had to take our time, and this, I think the stay special thing is indicative of a number of horses we have. You're not going to go 12 months. Very rarely you're going to go 12 months and have a horse good for the majority of a year, right? You're going to have stumbles. You're going to have horses that race great for extended periods of time and then kind of fall off a cliff. It happens, right? They're athletes. And with Stay Special, we bought her, hoped she'd be good. Kind of thought we were on the right path right away with her, and then she too got injured. We had to give her time off. But last night's start looked pretty impressive. Earplugs in. I don't even, how fast do you go? I don't even, 57? Is that right?
Yeah.
57? But the way he did it, just James drove it just so matter of factly. He's getting so good. You know, he's always been good for the last long time. But man, just floats out, drops in a nice spot, ends up second over, moves the filly over, and she's gone. Just a great race for her and a great drive by James. With Stay Special, we're gonna have a lot of fun with this filly moving forward. You know, somebody asked me, is she sound now? Well, there's always gonna be management that goes with a horse with bad knees, right? The knees just don't go away. But if you manage them and take good care of them, and you know, we've done it with Kemp. Right? Sometimes you have to just go easy for a bit and let them, you know, cool down. If you manage them properly, you know, there's definitely a path forward, a long-term path forward for a horse like Stay Special, for sure. Steel Cowboy, I trained him. He's 6 weeks from the race. Says, you know, did he look good? No. He's a little bumpy and, you know, rickety going, but we got to put a lot of muscle, not a lot of muscle, but we got to put a lot of work into this guy. He's the type of horse where if he's as fit as a fiddle, if he's as tight as he can be, you can find a spot for him. We already did in Oak Grove, and quite frankly, Oak Grove's coming around again. They open up early this year. End of March is when people start heading down there. So, Eric will probably end up with some horses down there to start. Now we're going to have 2-year-olds down there, but they're not going down there in April. They're going down there after. So I suspect a horse like maybe even Wallop, or a horse like Wallop, or a horse like that filly Stay Special. You know, if she gets out of classes at Mohawk and has to go somewhere, it's nice to have. We had a lot of fun. Well, you didn't have a lot of fun. You didn't get down there, but we'll get down there this year to Oak Grove. It'll be a lot of fun. I think, what was it, 8-hour drive? I think it is an 8-hour drive from Northfield Oak Grove, or the better part of 8. Didn't I drive straight back?
I'm going to be coming from Ontario. So
Not all summer. And this is March and April. March and April. They race Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
oh, there's not going to school anymore?
No, but you can go Sunday and have them back. Maybe miss a Monday
Look at this
morning.
collection of cars.
Oh, yeah.
Why is that guy doing that?
What guy doing what?
Oh, look.
Oh, there's a transport truck laying right into the old trees. There's a piece of his rig right there.
He's
Whoa.
not facing the right way.
That was a
This
nasty
guy
pile
almost
up.
caused an accident because he wanted to look at
Yeah,
it.
well, I do that too. No, what, Ollie?
That when I was on the way to Dick's last hockey game around Meadowgate,
Yeah.
that when we were on the highway, a gust of wind came and the semi truck in front of us was fishnailing his tree.
Okay, well, that's a great story. Thank you for that. Yeah, you got to watch it in the wind, but in the wind on the ice. Tactile Mounds will come back in probably within the next week. We'll have her back up and going, definitely by February 1st. We want to get her started up and get her moving forward. Tex Song Soprano, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, races at Yonkers. Drew the 3-hole, won for $27,000 in Yonkers. Good spot for this horse. I really like this colt. You should have known as soon as Scotty bought a big chunk. I should have known he was going to be a monster. It's just the luckiest little bugger I've ever seen in my life. Tex Song Soprano looked great in his last race, winning. Jason trained him up yesterday, said he trained awesome. He'll be plenty tight for Wednesday's Yonkers run. Where are we at here? Tex Song Soprano is Wallop. I just talked about Wallop. Wallop trained good this week. We trained him today. He trained back in 2 days, but I didn't want the chance of not being able to train tomorrow. They said the track's closed tomorrow. I knew there was a chance they would do that. There's another truck in there.
At Northfield?
Yep. The main track's closed. That might have been that guy that was... Remember that white truck? He was ahead of us. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Wallop trained good today. Eric went with him. He trained good on Wednesday also. The thing I love about Wallop, he did grow up. Now, this horse coming forward, you guys forget this was only a 3-year-old last year, and he's got less than 20 starts. he looks much bigger, and he put at least 150, if not 200 pounds on when he was out in the field. He looks very, very good. Walter's Keepsake, I went on about Walter's Keepsake the other day. Walter's Keepsake should be good on Saturday, right? All his shoes will stay attached. He's freshly corked. He's ready to go. He's in a spot that he should do some damage, and I expect that he will. What a Mission, finally got What a Mission qualified. I was really happy. You know, Jason must have been under a ton of pressure. I know I would have been. I was on pins and needles just watching it. And went out there and got him qualified. So very, very happy to see What a Mission back in the races. Oh, of course, shut off. So, you know, What a Mission had gone, 3 starts? 3 starts and made 3 breaks, right? 2 breaks and then made a break on me in the qualifier. So a little frustrated with him, but I was very happy to see him get back in the swing of things in qualifying on Wednesday. These things becoming really annoying, actually. Okay, we have Greatest Ending. Greatest Ending will race next week at the Meadows. He went over to Tim. I got to work on this GGT. It just jumped up out of nowhere. I looked at his past bloods. There was no indication that this GGT was jumping at all.
Why do we have so many?
Everybody does. It's not why do we, it's why is there.
What is it?
I have no idea. It's a very generic thing. Oh, it's a liver. There's a million things that go into it. There's got to be a virus or something going around. It's insane. Headline. Stop it. So, Greatest Ending, JK Victory's out in the field. He'll stay out till the end of the month, and we'll bring him back in, I suspect, at that point. Looks like money. I know Harry's just dragging his feet because he knows what's going to happen. They can't have 3 horses in the open. So, looks like money, I suspect, is trained now. He was frozen all week. He likely is not training tomorrow. He probably trained him today and on Wednesday. I suspect he'd have to be around 210 with him now. He's close to maybe bringing him down to the track and training at Mohawk. Renegade Gypsy won his last start in the Preferred 2, I believe, at Dayton. He'll be racing in the Preferred 1, where he's quite a bit higher in odds, but the Preferred 1 on Monday, so good luck to him. Renegade Gypsy, Resolute Bay, as I said, a little flat the other day, scoped with a little bit of sickness, but he'll be fine next week. There wasn't yellow gobs of it, it was just kind of mucus, just kind of in the midst of having something, getting over something like that. With Resolute Bay. Sirius Dragon is jogging now. I suspect he'll start training 1st of February, I think. We'll get him back training. 3 Point Blue Chip's long-awaited qualifier is tomorrow. It's qualifying tomorrow at the Meadowlands. Yep. It's qualifying tomorrow at the Meadowlands. So, he looked amazing in that little clip. We saw him training in 2.9 not that long ago.
Did you see the video they posted? So there's this TikTok challenge going around where you like smack your legs and clap, and then you do that like 3 times, and then take off running and see if your horse follows you in the paddock.
Seems a little silly.
Anyway, so I saw that they tried to do that with him.
Yeah.
And
you just kicked him.
When the girl that takes care of him took off to run, he stood there and then like grabbed her phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny. It does seem like him.
Yeah, it does.
Unbeatable Kemp will race next week, I believe. I'm not sure when his class goes. Maybe Friday. I know the Condition 10 claimer went on Wednesday, so he may actually miss 1 more week. You guys will understand soon enough why. It's very important. So, Unbeatable Kemp, I guess he is going to miss this week because that's the class Grantini's in. Nalmore's at 10. Actually, no, Grantini fit the Nalmore's at 8. So I'm not sure what...
Is Kemp in the claimer?
Kemp is in the 10 Condition claimer once those wins come back off. So, Unbeatable Kemp, just waiting on something. So, I'll tell everybody right now. There was an issue. I saw somebody in Northfield got a dexamethasone positive. Dexamethasone is widely used medication. It'd be like Bute, but it'd be like, I don't know how to explain, Advil or something in the real world, right? Generally, it's just a very, very low-grade cortisone, and it helps with... what's up? Dexamethasone? I know, but I'm just saying, I'm trying to equate it to something. Thank you for undressing me medically in front of everybody.
I'm sure someone else would have.
So, low-grade cortisone, and what had happened was it was given too close to the race by the veterinarian in the Meadows. And subsequently, subsequently ended up with a medication violation. 2 of Unbeatable Kemp's wins. It happens. Those wins have to come off, right? They're going to take them away, fine. We're going to put them back on. But I want to make sure that we get into that class, put them back on. To do that, the actual disqualification has to take place at the judge's office. So, obviously a disappointing thing. You don't want to go through it. I know Tim is beside himself. And anybody that knows Tim Twaddle, you know why. He takes his job very, very seriously. And the difference between the Meadows and other places is very important, is that every ounce of medication is logged. So they know when the horse got the medication. They know which veterinarian gave it because he had to submit his logs. So everything is everybody knows what took place, except for why the horse got a positive for dexamethasone. What is going on?
I don't know. Oh, there's another arrow that way.
Oh yeah, another accident.
I think it's a snowplow. They don't like backs to the snowplows.
Yeah, you might be right. Something anyway. So that was the whole thing. I didn't really know how to put it. I mean, it's something that's going to come out in the wash. People are going to see it and talk about it. But as I said, there's not much we can do about it. It's done now, and we're just waiting for it to go through the final processes so that we can race Unbeatable Kemp in his proper class. So there you have it. So that was Unbeatable Kemp. Yo Mister is back jogging. You said he bit Nelly. Bit her, really? Amy said that Yo Mister bit Nelly in the arm?
Yeah, the back of the arm.
Oof, that hurts.
That's
too.
a really bad spot.
That hurts too. Yeah, the only way to get bit in the back of the arm is not to be paying attention when you're walking away from a horse. So, Yo Mister, being a bad boy, took a bite out of Nelly apparently, or tried to. She'll be fine, and he'll be fine also. Good as him races Monday at, I guess I shouldn't downplay that. I apologize. I'm sure Nelly watches these. I hope you're okay. The fact that you told Amy and you didn't tell me leads me to believe that you're okay. And pay attention to Yo Mister. Good as him races Monday at Mohawk, so I can't wait to see him race his first start back. He's in tough. He's in a 55 to 65 claimer. It's not an easy spot to be. There may have been an easier class in hindsight, but I told Dominic very carefully, very, very clearly, you put him wherever you want, wherever you think he is his best shot of winning. Claimer, condition, I don't care. And that is what Dominic picked, so that is where we are heading. Locatelli is in with White Tiger again on Monday. They're down a class now. A little frustrated we have to continue to race our horses against one another, but I guess the reality is Mohawk is quite short of horses. Last week it was the preferred and then the Nommers at 15,000, which neither of them fit. Now it's the Nommers at 15,000. Is there even an open goal? I think there is, which they could have used one of them in the open and one of them in that. Anyway,
Oh, I did. Well,
doesn't matter.
there must not be.
Yeah, I think there is. There is. Oakwood Cowboy, my apologies if I missed your horse. Oakwood Cowboy trained today in 2-6 at Mohawk. Dominic said he trained good. He's getting close. Likely a couple of weeks and he'll be in to qualify. Stay Close is racing tomorrow. Ronnie Wren. The races were canceled from Friday and moved to Saturday. Chris Lems is going to drive Patrick the Piranha, and Ronnie Wren is going to drive Stay Close. I think 2 good fits for 2 of these horses. I told Ronnie about Stay Close, and I'll reiterate. The only trick with Stay Close, I believe, that I would need to tell anybody would be that outside gating pole. Just keep it tight, snug to his rump as the race, especially as you go out of the gate. You just need something to lay on a little bit. And that gating pole does a really good job. So that's the only trick with Stay Close for tomorrow. Kings County, we had him ready. We qualified in Northfield, sent him to the Meadows. No class at the Meadows. Sent him down to Dayton. Threw the 9-hole in the open. First start back. Just about as bad as it gets. So Kings County will race Monday. Don't get your hopes up. He's got the 9-hole in the open. He's trained in 58. So he's 4.5 seconds from where he needs to be on Monday, assuming he didn't have the 9-hole. White Tiger, as I said, is racing against Locatelli on Monday. Delicious Stone DK, maybe one of our best shots of the weekend. Lauren Harmon is going to hurt Walter's keepsake. Lauren Harmon is going to drive Delicious Stone DK in the amateurs on Saturday night. Miss Rocket Ali was a little bit sick and had a little bit of blood in her airway on last week when she walked. We gave her the week off, treated her up. I'm going to train her tomorrow lightly. She's going to race next week at Northfield Park. Patrick DePrana is going to race tomorrow. 5-horse open field, so they're short everywhere. We went with a 5-horse open at the Meadows tomorrow. No scratches, just a 5-horse open. And Patrick DePrana is in there with Chris Limbs. So a pretty long update for the racehorses. A little disjointed, but at the same token, now you have it. We'll be back in a minute. We'll talk about the 3-year-olds, talk about some of the 2-year-olds, and then you'll be on your way.